it's thinking, and now it thinks we're
It's
here.
thinking, it's
Hello.
computing. We might be on. Some people might
It's
see us, some people
computing.
might not.
It's computing. That's exactly what it was doing. All right, let's see if we can get that live button over here on Facebook.
I just took my 87-year-old mom out for dinner because I hadn't visited with her one on one in a while. Well, I saw her all weekend, but there were so many people around. It's
Where'd you
overwhelming for
go?
an older person. We're
Yeah,
trying to
that's
think
hard.
of everybody's feelings and what dynamic they need in order to feel heard.
Well, I mean, and
So I
I
took her
think
out,
you're
but we were
really,
both saying how we felt like we haven't even hardly had a summer. It's just,
and
it's
it's
almost been so hot and so weird that we feel like we haven't had a summer, and it's
and it's
almost
the end
August.
of July, which is so very
Mm-hmm.
strange because I feel the same way. We had a cold June. Um, so that kind of messes everything up for me when we have a cold
Yeah.
June. Here in the eastern part of in the
And
eastern
we're
part of the United
Midwest.
States. And you guys are Midwest. But I mean, honest to goodness, when I tell you, I totally get it
Yeah.
because
And so
um
many people have had like really terrible weekends, which has kept them inside. And
mhm,
then here
mhm.
you are, almost
Yep.
August. Yeah.
Yep. Well, Renee Breitbach is here. That's the only person I could see so far. Mary went. Okay, I'm seeing people come in now. Unfortunately, I don't have my iPad with me to be able to get onto the studio page to at everyone. If you're reading this, Kim Bain, if you're on, can you go on to the Grace and Grit Studio group on Facebook and just at everyone for me, please? Because I am unable to do it from my computer. The screen is going blank when I'm um, going into the
Yeah,
Grace and Grit
something.
Studio. I don't know what that means. So,
It's
Kim, if
always
you're
an adventure, Janini Beanie.
yeah, it's always an adventure. And I actually have been trying to fix this for several months and I thought I had it, but I don't. And it's
No,
funny
it
because
keeps changing.
I don't think everybody's experiencing it. And that's why there's not like a direct answer as to how to fix it. So we just want to make sure we touch, all the places that we need to touch. So thank you so much, everybody, for hopping on. I am seeing that people are starting to come in. Please let us know. What, Mary, you wore cloud today? I did too. Do you like it? Isn't it great? Hello, Brenda. Hello, Lori. Hi, everybody. But unfortunately, I'm not able to. Usually, when I at everyone, that's when people get the notifications that we're
When you
live.
start seeing them, yeah. Kim will
But
let you know.
unfortunately, it's not. And I'm going to just try one other thing while we're talking. You can still see me, right?
I can see you, and I just wanted to tell you guys,
Cool.
like this necklace that I have on, I'm aware that it doesn't really match what I have on right now, but I just wanted to show it to everybody
It
because one of the perks of
doesn't work
Park
for
Lane is
Mary.
we also can earn or win jewelry that's not available, for public distribution yet. And this is a piece that just came in the mail recently for me with the sapphire blue and the different layers. And it's fun that we have that's just another perk of Park Lane.
I have to say, the one thing that I'm actually trying from a different browser just to see if I could do it from here, but not working from here either. Isn't that crazy? Just crazy stuff. Facebook's just crazy. So, Kim, if you're able to do that, thank you. And if you could add everybody from the Grace and Grit Studio group, I'd appreciate it.
I'm showing off my jewelry.
I love that you're doing that. Thank you so much because I get frustrated because it shouldn't be that hard. Actually, it's coming up on my feed now. Let me see if I can do it from my feed. Hold on.
And
You're
there are
gonna hear
so
this.
many of us out here in Facebook land that have no idea what she's talking about.
Okay,
And we
just
just
it.
keep talking.
So, so long and the short of it, I move everything into the groups that need to go because we come in on our page, our Grace and Get Studio page. Once I move them, I should be able to go in and at everyone underneath them so that people know we're live. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that, but I did figure it out from my feed. And we lost Mary Grace for a second, but she is back, and that's all that matters. And y'all don't need to hear all the technical, stupid jargon that's happening over here on the
Yeah.
it's really dumb, but we do have, a good number of minutes that we like to talk in the beginning so we can get people on. So
Yes.
there are maybe about 20 of you watching right now. Welcome. Happy Monday.
Hi,
Thanks for hopping
everybody.
in. We have some
And Janine,
Jenna.
do that thing where you let me in again because I can't see me, so I'm not sure if they can see me. I
Okay,
know
I'm going to
you can
remove
see
Mary
me.
Grace for a moment and bring her back. There we
Okay.
go. Okay. All right. Listen, this is technology, y'all. This
I'm
is
not
what we
touching
do.
anything.
Yeah, this is what we deal with. So it is what it is, but we always want to try to make it the best we can for you. But we also want to show you that we're real people just like everybody else. And half the time stuff doesn't work for us either. So you just roll with it and move on and figure out how to do it. So you can see, everybody can see, they can hear us. That's great. Drop in the comments. Let us know not just where you're watching from, but let
We're
us know where you're watching
rolling.
from today. And also, can you let us know who invited you here? So, tonight is our Monday night free jewelry call. And I have to say, it is actually one of the highlights of my week, truly, because not only do I get to spend 20 to 30 minutes with our fearless leader, Mary Grace, but we also get to spend time with all of you. And we hope that during the day on Mondays and on the weekends, when you're chit chatting with friends and people are asking about your jewelry, that you're talking to them and saying to them, listen, we have this opportunity every single week on a Monday night for you to win free jewelry. And all you have to do, your price of admission, is just to come onto this live stream for 15 to 20 minutes and fill out a Google form.
Yeah.
Literally, there's no obligation, okay, whatsoever. But what's cool is the more people that listen to it, the better. Because quite honestly, if you can get it out to the people, they know people. And how many people are behind each person? Is it 250 people are behind each person? I always forget that number. Thanks, Kim. I appreciate it. I think I was able to do it finally because it did come up my feed, but thank you. But what I love about this is the person that invited you really thought extremely high of you to ask you to come here, because not only did he or she want you to have a chance to win free jewelry, but he or she thinks maybe that this opportunity might be something that's good for you or someone within your circle. So all we're doing is that you listen, ask questions if you have them, and tag your stylist. Let us know. I'm just seeing Tammy's from Louisiana. Thank you so much for jumping in. Living in Texas since 1980. Love this. Hey Brenda, how are you? So thank you everybody. I appreciate y'all hopping in and listening to what we have to say tonight. Every Monday night, I have the distinct pleasure of interviewing our executive company vice president of our Lewandowski organization, our Grace and Grit organization, Mary Grace Lewandowski. And I get to ask her 4 questions. And they're the same 4 questions every week. And I swear to you, no 2 weeks are the same, because there's just so much that we can tell you, right? And there's so many stories we can tell, and we love to chit chat, as you and I do very well. We banter back and forth wonderfully. But the 4 questions that I ask her are really 4 questions that people that are thinking about jumping into direct sales as an extra business or as an add-on or as a little side gig, these are questions that are going to be floating in your head. So let us answer them for you, pique your interest, and then I'm gonna ask you to go back to your stylist and ask he or she any more questions you may have, or drop some questions in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them. So Mary Grace, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming on again here on Monday night. And I already dropped the direct sales word. Okay, so let's start there. So our first question is always why direct sales, but I would love for you to just kind of detail, what does direct sales mean? And quite honestly, how does it different from the other different how is it different from the other word that we always hear, which is MLM, or multi-level marketing?
All right, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to answer it differently in the way it's ever been answered, because
Okay.
I realized I've noticed this before. And in my own head, I've always thought, no, that's not true. But I never argued with you. And you, week after week after week, will say things like our fearless leader. And I
He
am
is.
so fearful of so much. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I have to address this. I have to tell you guys, because I like to give life advice, not just jewelry advice or advice about Park jewelry.
Yeah.
And I have discovered so much through being part of the direct sales model, through running my own business, that everything that you ever want is really on the other side of fear. And the main thing that keeps us from going after things is some sort of fear. And 95% of the population is into what they call failure avoidance.
Avoidance.
Stay down the straight and narrow, maybe have unhappy or less than ideal circumstances, but don't do anything about them. Because this
Yeah.
is just the path that you know. And as silly as it sounds, and it probably won't sound silly to a lot of you out there because you're probably there, but as silly as it sounds to me now, after all these years, 25 years in direct sales, I was extremely fearful to try direct sales.
Sure.
And once I realized, like, what is the big deal? I can try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least it's something. So many worlds opened up to me. And I hope that you're in a place where you will allow that fear to not have you. Well, you're here. If you're watching the call, that's a first step, right? But just that fear of what you've heard or what you think it might be, not to hold you back. The other time that I really experienced this terrible fear was when I decided to leave the direct sales company I had been with for 12 years to come here to Park Lane 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was extremely frightened because I had a certain income. I was making like $250,000 a year at my other company. I had a very full calendar. I had like, and and I noticed that some things were in jeopardy with my own like other company, but I still so scared to like, switch.
Yeah.
And Park Lane is the only direct sales company that I know of. It is the only direct sales company that is unique in that they will interview you and hire you at a level that is equal to what you came from. So I really had nothing to lose, but even to go for the interview, I was so frightened. And I remember thinking, I have stood up on the stage in front of thousands with my other company and told them, face the fear and do it anyway. And I'm like, you are a freaking liar, Mary Grace, because you are scared to death.
Yeah.
So just kind of like take a deep breath and step back a little bit and wonder, like, is it some kind of fear? And like, what am I really afraid of? Because there's really nothing to be afraid of, especially here at Park Lane. But to answer your question, direct sales actually, one of the things that helped me and helped me not be fearful is very often when we offer this job to people, what's the first thing they'll say, Janine? Like, oh,
I already have a
I
job.
already have a job, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's their first
I'm
answer.
always like, well, good. Because it's like I'm offering you a part-time side gig around the life you already have to see if it'll fit. Because it might not be a good fit for you, and it might not be a good fit for us. But I love that you can try it without giving up anything else. It's like you have this security thing. And I'll tell you, there's thousands of us over here extremely happy. So the vast majority decide that they absolutely are so glad they tried it. And there's very few that say, oh, I don't know anyone who ever said I shouldn't have ever tried that, because it didn't cost them anything in the end. So that's my little starting speech of the night.
Good starting
But
speech.
direct sales versus MLM. Direct sales means direct to consumer. Basically, we're a party plan business. Okay. We have a program that rewards not only customers, but we have a hostess program that rewards people for sharing us with their friends and family. Multi-level marketing, the reason they name it that is because it's super important to the income structure that there are multi-levels and that people are keeping track of them, and that it's mostly recruiting based. So they want to recruit people, turn customers into reps, and then keep track of what level they're on and if their levels are even, which that sounds a little dizzying even to me. But direct sales is way more direct. We represent a product. Our main thing is selling. Is there a recruiting aspect? Absolutely, because we want to share with what we do. And quite honestly, the best way to put it this way, you guys, is in a business model. Like, I can only do so much. And I am older now and I've been through a lot, but honestly, at times I was one of the best. And I could do 2 to 3 shows a day.
Yeah.
But that's all I could do.
Yeah.
Right? And barely even that. So let's say I did 2 shows a day, which I did it. Let's say I did 1 show every single day of the month. That's 30 to 31 shows a month, right? But when I started sharing it with other people and they could do shows too, it was just exponential growth where I was sharing not only the job opportunity, but also I was able to increase my income because we were able to influence so many more people. It's like opening other franchises across the United States of America. It's just smart because there's a need and more people deserve to hear about the Park Lane product. So yes, we have a recruiting aspect, but it's not like every single day that we get up and that's our emphasis. Our emphasis is selling jewelry and serving as a liaison between the company and our customer very often using hostesses so that we can have their friends and family experience what we have and be able to reward the hostess in free jewelry as well. So
Love
I
it.
hope that was a good way to explain it, but that is the difference between direct sales and multi-level marketers. Multi-level marketers are behind their computer a lot, figuring out. Direct salespeople are online selling jewelry or in-home selling jewelry or doing something that involves showing product and learning, especially in our industry that has to do with fashion. So
Right. And party plan. I mean, party plan is just
party
that,
plan.
it's
Yep.
party plan. If you are watching this on our Grace and Grit Studio business page on Facebook, would you do us a solid right now and click that share button and share us on your wall? If you do that, we're going to go through all the shares and pick an extra winner this week of a piece of jewelry. She didn't know that. I just thought I'd throw that
Absolutely.
in.
Everyone I know has permission to give away my stuff.
Yeah, pick a little extra because we haven't done that in a while. We haven't asked people to click that share button. So go ahead and click that share button right now. And the share button is only found on the Grace and Grit Studio business page. So we have a Grace and Grit Studio group that's private and a business page that's public. You can click it there. So Mary Grace, now that we know, and I love that you talked about the franchise opportunity. That is really good to explain it that way because it's right. There's 30 days in a month, sometimes 31. You can only do so many darn shows. But if you have people on your team out doing shows the same day you are, that's like a franchise business doing business while you're doing business. I
Yes.
love that. But so explain to these fine folks, where does jewelry, like fit into this? Why
Yeah,
jewelry?
so I already talked about how we're the only company that brings in people and recognizes their experience, which is the way every company I ever heard of does it, right?
Right.
So I love that they're so respectful of our business sense, like, no, you
Yeah.
have a certain set of gifts and we want to capitalize on those and we want to pay you for those gifts, those talents
Right.
that you learned somewhere else. So Janine and I are both um, recipients of that direct point program. We both came from other companies, but I mean, yeah, we've talked about it directly, and I think most of the people on here, like, in fact, if you are a person who came here with direct sales experience, just put in the comments that you're one of them. There's a
Mhm.
lot of us over here at Park Lane. But I would say that most of us would admit that we kind of accidentally fell into
Oh yeah.
whatever we were doing,
Oh yeah.
right? Like,
Oh
you were
yeah.
a basket, so you would probably love the product. You were a
Yep.
collector. You saw something about them. I went to a candle party, and I was always, I've always been the type of person that was open to opportunity. So I don't know that I was looking for something else, but when they said there's a job opportunity here, I checked the box, like, yeah, I'd like to hear more about it. So, hearing more about that and then doing that, I fell in love with the company and I represented it well and I had a grand old time. But I was not in a place where I was like deciding what type of product I was going to sell with the direct
Right.
sales model.
Right.
So here's the difference. When we're coming over from another company, we're much more savvy. We've learned a lot along the way. And then we're going to like choose a product.
Right.
And I was one of those people that used to say, oh, I would never sell jewelry. Who would sell jewelry? I don't know why I felt that way, but I definitely did. Well, for one thing, I didn't wear a lot of jewelry. I always loved
That's why.
clothes, but I wasn't into jewelry. Not at
Mhm.
all. But I have to tell you, whether it's your first, like, even little feeling in your stomach right now that you might try direct sales, or you have done something else in the past, honest to gosh, you guys, jewelry is the place to be. Jewelry is the place to be. And I'm going to tell you some reasons, and I'm going to tell you where I got these reasons. First of all, I've lived them and experienced them. If I hadn't, Janine would argue with me and say, no, that's not true, but it
I would.
isn't. We all nod away. But really, I have to go back to the Levine family. You don't know who they are yet, but they started Park Lane. They started Park Lane in 1955. We're
Mhm.
70 years old as a company, okay? Which is great. We'll talk about that more later. However, when the Levines started their company, they were smart enough to say, okay, we want the direct sales model. This is new and different. We want to do that. What products should we do? And they hired consulting companies. And they hired 3 different ones, which was an expense, but they really wanted like a non biased Go out there, come back with your answer kind of thing. And they said, what product should we sell? And the jewelry wasn't even on their radar. And all three companies came back with jewelry as number one, like
Isn't
by
that crazy?
far.
That's
And they
crazy.
go, okay, well, we're not just going to say no. This isn't what we thought, but tell us why. And it's like kind of a no-brainer once you know, and now that I've lived it. But it's like the market, whenever you're going to represent any product, you want it to have a big market. Okay. So anybody at any age in any demographic is going to be a possible buyer of jewelry. More yes than no, right? You want to make sure that a product has longevity. It's not a fad. Jewelry's been around since 150,000 years ago. It's showing like a $43 billion forecast in the next whatever. Like it's here to stay.
Yeah.
Okay. You also want to look at like, all right, from the salesperson's vantage point, what are the advantages to us? Well, it's very light. Like I can carry out a whole thousands of dollars of jewelry in a bag the size of my purse.
Right.
And honestly, with my other product, seriously, I know you think I'm exaggerating, but not. I literally had to get a new hip because of the lifting and stuff that I was doing a year after year after year. So with this, there's no problem. People are wearing our product. I'm wearing my product, right? You, if you decide to do this, will be wearing our product. So
Right.
when people compliment, or even if they don't, if you want to say, oh, do you like my necklace? You know, like it's like a visual right away that brings you more business and referrals. And
Right.
in the same way, our customer base is wearing our product. So there are so many huge advantages, and I could go on and on and on. One thing that I've learned is that there are only, okay, so when you walk into a mall, and you go into the anchor stores, okay? It depends on,
Right.
I think everyone has Macy's or the makeup, okay?
Yeah, Macy's.
What do you see?
Penny.
You
Yeah.
walk in from the mall, not the parking lot, from the mall. And to the left, you're generally going to see shoes or jewelry.
Yep, that's true.
To the right, you're going to see shoes or jewelry, sometimes makeup or jewelry, but always jewelry, one or the other. And what's the reason for that? Because they know that's what draws people in. That's what draws people in. When other companies are going through hard times and they're worried, direct sales companies, you know what they add? What did your
Jewelry.
company add?
Jewelry.
Jewelry. What did
Jewelry.
my company add? Jewelry.
Jewelry.
Because they know it's like that's something that's going to bring up the revenue and stuff. So
Yep.
it's just surprising to me that I never realized it's one of the only products that actually sales of it go up during economic hard times. And something that I was very proud of selling candles was that it was considered a consumable product.
Right.
Janine had a lot of fun and went with the idea that her baskets were a
Or
collectible.
collectible. Yeah.
Jewelry is both a consumable product and a collectible. And when you ask like how it's consumable, it's because it is constantly evolving and changing.
Right.
Fashion is considered consumable because
Right.
it changes with not just your outfits, but it changes literally with the trends and the times and the coolness factor. And it's one of those that people like look to see who's going to leave me their jewelry, you know? So it definitely is a collection.
True.
So there are a lot of pluses to it. And I now have experienced them doing double what I ever did in candles.
People are asking about this. It's soon to come. It's a little, this is the cloud necklace. Remember, we earned this. So we earn it ahead of time. People are asking. So that's what this is called. Isn't it beautiful?
Okay.
Hopefully you'll see it soon.
Hopefully you'll see it soon.
Okay. So now I love all the things. I love the anchor store. I never really thought of that when you walk in a mall. Totally true that you walk into shoes or jewelry or, I love that. But what I want to ask you is now tell us specifically why Park Lane Jewelry, like what sets us apart?
Yeah, because you could do other jewelry companies. And you know what? Actually, we feel so confident. In fact, our CEO always says, we want you to check out other companies because you're
Right.
going to be so gobsmacked by what we have to offer. The number one, what's the word that I want to use? Defense that other companies use against Park Lane is they don't want people to even get far enough to check us out. Because they know once they check us out that they can't compete. And that's true. And it worked on us for a while. You're like, oh, not that company. Anything but that company. You know,
Best kept
like,
secret.
It worked on all of us for a while. But it's
Right.
like, Park Lane Company, Park Lane Jewelry, first of all, has been around for 70 years.
Yeah.
Okay, you might think you want a ground floor opportunity. No, the ground floor is in the basement. And 95% of startups go down. Okay. Also, Park Lane firmly believes that if you have to be one of the first in order to make a bunch of money, that's not a good profit plan.
Amen.
So, Park Lane, it doesn't matter when you start, you are always going to have the ability to really have a great career and great money with Park Lane. Being in business with 70 years, they have lived through everything. They really have, you guys. So what I have experienced directly, as has Janine, is the COVID quarantine. And other companies were closing. Park Lane was throwing out like free shipping, extra free pieces, like to help the community get through the time. So that, I mean, I've lived it now. I mean, you want security, it's Park Lane. And
It's
that's
here.
just the beginning.
Yep.
We're not just debt free, we're cash rich. And as you get, I'm telling you some of the inside scoop. I know we all realize, like, you know, everybody cares about how it's going to impact themselves and their families. And I know I'm going to get my paycheck every week. Okay. But what I've also realized is that we have such tremendous buying power. So, like, the big companies want to, you know, the chain houses and the gem houses, they want to do business with Park Lane because they know they're going to get paid cash.
Right.
So we get so many advantages that way, where we can be like the first on the market with certain things, and we can always be cutting edge. That's huge when you're the salesperson. We have to just stand back and sell all the wonderful stuff. They're taking
Right.
care of that whole aspect of it. So that's huge. And whenever you look at a company, you want to look at the programs. Now, I already talked about jewelry, and I already talked about why jewelry is the place to be. If you were to Google, I'm thinking of going into direct sales, what should I do, or something like that. Google would definitely have up there, choose a product that you love, which I think is good. But I think it's more important to pick a product that everybody else loves, and you will learn to love it soon too, even if you thought you didn't, you know, which is the story of both of us. So that's pretty cool. But you always want to check out the programs. So it all really stems from our customer sale. So we have a customer sale where it's buy any 2 items for regular price, get any 4 for half. Spend $90 and you get an item of your choice for $35. Okay, I don't expect you to repeat that to me or get your head around it immediately, but I can tell you what that does for us. First of all, it makes the customers so happy. Okay, the customers are happy, so it makes the friends who invited them so happy. And the number one reason that people will have shows of any type in today's world is they want a deal for their friends. Also, it's a sale that's easy to remember and easy to repeat. So people repeat it all the time, and they're actually very proud to repeat it. So we have all these people out there doing our work for us. Okay, that's all super cool. Now, it's an awesome sale because they get value. So they get hundreds of dollars of jewelry for much less than they originally thought they ever would get it for. Very high quality, beautiful, beautiful jewelry. But their average order is usually over $100. So I have a lot of people that say, oh, I'm going to sell the $5 jewelry. Okay. But do you know what comes with that? And I'm not cutting anything down. I love all the other companies. I'm not cutting anything down. But a $5 sale for me wouldn't mean much commission, which I don't mean to seem selfish, but it's true. And I'm also envisioning a lot of unhappy people because it's $5 jewelry. And even though it was only $5, they're still going to be mad when
Yeah.
it breaks the next day, right? We at Park Lane have this unbelievable guarantee. Okay. So their average order is $100. Well, guess what we get paid on? We get paid on percent, you know, we get a percentage of what people spend. So are we
Right.
happy when it's, you know, a bigger sale? Absolutely. And we can give people so much time and attention because we can do like a little get together with just 2 or 3 people around the kitchen table. And it's generally a very lucrative, wonderful show for everybody. So I love that. I absolutely love that. We're the highest paid in the industry. I'm not just saying that. That's just a fact. Go ahead and compare everything. We actually drove other companies to have to raise their initial levels. So when somebody comes in at just a starting position here at Park Lane, they're making 30%. In my other company, it was 20, and you had to do, or 20 or 25, but you had to do something tremendous every month to get to 32%. And we
Yep.
start people at 30%, and they have the ability, and do most of them, to go to 50%.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very easy to get your raises. And that's not even taking everything into account. Monthly bonuses, weekly bonuses, all that good stuff. Now, aside from that, those are our base programs. But we also have programs like that we both shared with you, where we have jewelry on that's not available to the masses just yet because we won it. Well, did you know that every single one of us have the ability every single month to earn over $1,000 in free jewelry? And we simply do it by doing our job. So we're making money as we do our job, but we also are earning free jewelry as we do our job. Do you know what that does? It's like my husband said one time. He goes, you know, Mary Grace, I am absolutely thrilled with these amazing paychecks, like thousands of dollars every week. He said, but we don't even put a price on what you save, what we save as far as like our shopping goes,
Gifting. Yeah.
because
Gifting.
I don't, all the presents for a lot of people are done. But also, like, if we want to incentivize people, if
Right.
I'm like, okay, Janine, I know what when you'll have a show. You'll have a show when I am able to gift you this for free. Well, I just earned it, so who cares, right? It's not like I had to buy it. So in a lot of companies, when you're working for them, if you want to do anything above and extra for anybody to inspire them to, follow you or give you business, you're usually paying for that out of your own pocket.
Right.
And with Park Lane, they're so smart because they give us that avenue where we can earn it. We have trips. So basically what happens, you guys, I know it sounds overwhelming, but basically our CEO keeps his ear to the ground. He compares to other companies all the time. And he kind of said, I kind of feel like you guys are my family. And I don't want anyone else to have more than my family has. You might have to earn it, but I want you to have it. So we have everything other companies have. So most companies, if they do at all, they have a trip that someone can earn once a year. We have
Right.
2 trips a year. And they're so incredibly, I'm not going to say easy, but earnable for the newest person. 2 trips a year. So next week, bunches of us are leaving for Switzerland. And then a few months after that, we're going to Cancun. And then a few months after that, we're going to Amsterdam. So these are things you can't even put a price on. Really, you can't. Because again, you're getting paid while you earn it. And then you're also getting the trip. So again, my husband always called it double dipping. He's like, not only are you making all this money, but you're earning a trip and we don't have to take said money and pay for said trip. It's like just a whole extra perk. And then there's a car bonus too. And probably other stuff I forgot. Oh, the number one thing. If you have ever worked for another direct sales company, this is absolutely going to blow your mind. But we have no minimums. So we lead with incentives. If you want to work, you're going to get a paycheck. You're going to get rewarded. You're going to get all of these wonderful things. If you don't want to work or can't work, which is really usually the case, like someone's sick or whatever, I'm not going to take your title away. So when we were brought in at these titles that we were brought in as, the only thing we can ever do is go up. We are never going to go backwards, lose our title or lose our pay structure.
Right.
That is that's a life changer. It really is. If you are a direct salesperson, put in comments if you're someone that's had to deal with minimums before, because it is extremely stressful. And that does not happen here at Parkland.
That's the peace of mind. There's the peace of mind theory right there. So listen, why now? Tell them the greatest deal we have going.
Yeah, and this really is ending Wednesday night. So you guys want to get in on this. Okay, we just dropped a new line a week and a half ago. Just dropped a new line. Brand new, beautiful stuff. So for quite a while now, it's been that for $129, a new person gets to choose $500 worth of jewelry. Right now, but it's ending Wednesday at midnight, it's $700 in jewelry for $129. That's crazy in of itself.
Yeah.
The $129 also, it gains you what you need in order to have a successful business, your own personal website, access to all of the materials of the back office, access to literally like cut and paste images. I pay a wonderful person to create for us so that you could literally start tonight. and copy and paste and start on your Facebook page, your own business, because it's already all done for you.
Yeah.
So it really is a phenomenal, phenomenal deal. And now is always the time. If you go back to how I actually started this whole call about the face and fear and do it anyway, and fear holds us back. If you really look at what's holding you back, it's some kind of fear or some kind of what if. Or you might be saying, when this happens, I will.
Right.
And like success principles have proven that the most important time to start anything that catches your fancy is now.
Yep.
Especially something like this where you have nothing to lose. And it's like, put your foot in,
Yeah.
give it a go, say yes, get your $700 in jewelry for $129, start your business. You may not be as ferocious or as talented as you hope to be someday, but you're going in the direction that you need to be going in. And you have all these people here, hundreds of years of experience, that are going to help you do with this business whatever you want to do. And that's the bottom line. What do you want to do?
That
Some
is the
people
bottom
start
line.
this because they need $300. Some people start this
Sure.
because they have in their mind that they want to make $1,000 a month. Some people start this business like, I am going all the way to the top. I want to make, like I want to make 6 figures like some of these people do. But even most people, even like me, I started it for $100.
Extra $100. Yep.
Yep. And you're going to leave with more than you came with, should you decide to leave. So don't
Yep.
let that fear thing hold you back. That's a biggie.
I love the you're going to leave with more than you came with, because just with what they can earn alone, just by doing a party, which is where we ask you all to start.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just asking you to
We do.
go
We ask
back
that you
to
have a
your
party because
Yeah.
you'll get paid on the party. But the
Yeah.
person who invited you this call will do the party.
Yeah.
And if you decide you don't want to do it, at least you
Okay.
have the party,
Yeah.
and you get additional free stuff. And maybe she will get to meet some of the people that you would have had as your customers should you decide to do it. But
Right.
what we're hoping you do decide to continue to do it, because then those people become your customers and off you go.
So you can either choose to do the party and choose to just be the host, and that's not just, you would be rewarded in all of the free bling and have fun with your friends, or you can choose to be the stylist.
We've done
and
everything that
host.
we can here at
Yep.
Park Lane to make
Yep.
it comfortable for you.
Yeah.
We really have, because we want you to be brave enough to try it.
Yeah. Be brave enough to try it. I love that. Listen, we're going to meet back here next Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. And before we go, I want you all to know that I did drop the Google form into the comments.
Good luck, everybody.
All you need to do is fill that out. Mary Grace takes a look. She chooses a winner, and she sends a curated package of jewelry to our free jewelry winner, just
I have fun
because
doing it.
this call for us. So, Mary Grace, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Happy Monday, guys. I'll see you
Happy
next
Monday,
time.
everybody. See you next week.
Bye.